Hello class, I hope you're having a great weekend and doing well. I'm here to talk to you about the second forum where we went into Common Core Spark resources, checked those out, and talk about the 4Cs and implementing them into my classroom. And so one of the things I want to talk about is on the communication part with the Common Core resources, and they had the visual cards. I really like having visuals with the cue words coming to demonstrate different skill movements. I feel that a lot of students need the words and the actual physical, whether it's a physical demonstration or photos that help remind them of exactly what to do. And so I absolutely love those visuals. I think it's great at communicating two different ways to students, and some need both, some prefer one way or the other, and it's all there together. So I really, really like that. Another thing I liked was the self-check card, where the students assess different characteristics that they had during the week or during that class period. I would implement the system just a little bit different. Instead of having all the different characteristics listed on one card, I think I would choose one to focus on during that week. So like last week, I really talked to my students about sportsmanship, and we really focused on that all week long. And so I would do like a 3x5 note card with their name on it, and then have them say, I displayed great sportsmanship this week, and have them rate themselves on a scale of whether it's 1 to 5 or 1 to 10. So I really like the idea. I think I would just focus in on one a week and a different one each week. And I think my students would be more successful that way. And it also leads into the next thing I was going to talk about, the unit content cards. It talked about different words and explained them. So it talks about trust, it talked about sportsmanship, different things. I believe it's very important to teach our students those things. I would not use the content cards. That's one thing I didn't care for as much. I have found that my students do better with stories, whether the story is something I tell them or little short ones I read to them or short little movie clips that I find. I actually showed them one this week on sportsmanship, and it really, really opened their eyes to what true sportsmanship was. I had so many kids that asked me, is that a true story? Is that real? Did that really happen? They really did that? It was a shock to them, because usually when they think of sportsmanship, they just think of respecting each other and following the rules, all these little things. But when you have like a huge story of one that it's like, wow, that's real sportsmanship, they understand it on a totally different level. And so I probably wouldn't actually implement those content cards. I'm going to stick with my stories. One thing that I really, really liked was the unit adventure races. I think that's an excellent way to get our students to collaborate and work as a team. And they get to make a lot of decisions as that small group. And I think that's really important. I really liked the one on the sheet that said, your group's going to do 50 push-ups, and you decide how to do that. And so they have multiple choices. If there's 5 students, they each do 10, or if they know someone's not as strong in the push-up area, hey dude, you do 5 and I'm gonna do 12 for you, do a couple extra, and can you do a couple extra for him? And they can really collaborate and make individual group choices. One thing that I saw on there that I've really been trying to figure out how I want to implement better is the creativity side. I've noticed with my students, they are so used to being told what to do, when to do it, how to do it, that they've almost lost the creativity side of being a kid, which I think is really sad. And so it's something that I try to implement into my classroom a lot. I started a Frisbee unit, and with my students being in the inner city, only about 5 of them had ever touched a Frisbee. And so it was like a brand new toy to them. And so I decided on the very first day just to bring out the Frisbees, bring out some hula hoops, jump ropes, cones, just a few different toys. And I said, go play. And I let them be creative. And they came up with some of the most awesome, fantastic ways to practice throwing a Frisbee. And they were practicing on accuracy and distance and speed, all these different things, and they didn't even really know it. And they were being super creative. In fact, I would walk over sometimes to a group and they would stop thinking they're in trouble. And I'd be like, no, keep going, I just want to see what you're doing. And it amazed me how creative they were. But I'm afraid if I would have gave them paper and pencil at first and say, be creative and tell me how you'd use a Frisbee, they would have had no idea what to do. So I think writing it down is important, but I would implement that after they've practiced and tried and came up with it. In fact, I wouldn't even tell them about it until after. I'd be like, oh, you guys did such a great job. Write down and tell me what you did. I really like implementing the 4 C's into my class, and I think they're all really important. And so there were some things that I'm going to take from that, and I'm going to add to my classroom on a more daily basis. So thanks for listening. I hope you're having a great week again, and we'll see you next time. Bye.